Hello and welcome to round 13 of the race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series for the Belgian Grand Prix. My name is Expert, and joining me in the commentary box for tonight's race, please welcome BK.
Yeah, Expert, thanks for having me tonight, mate. It is an absolute honour to be joining you in the commentary box for the 13th round of the PS4 Pacific Series. First tier tonight at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian GP. As you may or may not know, it is the longest track on the calendar, 7 kilometres, 19 turns, 2 major DRS zones, one start-finish straight and the other one on that long camel straight after El Rouge. And honestly, that is a place where we can see a lot of great overtaking here tonight. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a good one to watch, and hopefully some good overtaking manoeuvres happen tonight. But let's have a quick look now at your driver standings. As you can see, Zach Cryan leads away at the moment. He's just slotted over onto that 200-point mark. He's got a solid 58 points between himself and the Red Bull of Aaron behind. Toddster MP3 for Williams ahead of 40 in P4, for Ferrari. P5 is Extra Evolution. P6 Spilly ahead of Plevs, Crossy, Jay Schmidt, and Swaggy. 291, the reserve driver in P10 ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver Romy Alonso, who's on 23 points ahead of Roscoe High Contrast Curving Texas for Renault. Pure Gold in 15th. BK, who unfortunately is joining me in the commentary box tonight, so he won't be getting any points this afternoon, in P16. Alcatraz 17th, 18th Banana Cake Pie, and 19th Tojariti, and Rani at your top 20 is Very Lazy Tail on 2 points. And switching it over to the constructors' standings, it is Mercedes leading the way on 206 points. Zach Crichton, unfortunately though, Zach Crichton having to do it on his own tonight. As Expert mentioned, I'm here in the commentary box instead of being out on track, and then right behind them, Scuderia Ferrari on 198 points. 40 and Crossy, a very strong lineup. We could see the constructors' title race spice up tonight. Could see it switch. But then rounding it out, Racing Point, Williams, Red Bull, McLaren, all 4 of those teams vying it out for 3rd place. Then it's Renault 7th, Alfa Romeo 8th, Toro Rosso 9th, and then Haas rounding out the Constructors' Championship. So we're going to swap over now to the main screen. As you can see, the drivers are heading out now for their 18-minute qualifying session around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Let me know in the live chat as well some predictions for the qualifying Grand Prix. But let's start with you, BK. Who do you reckon is going to get pole here this afternoon? You know what, there are a lot of talented drivers on the grid, and being a Mercedes man myself, it would not be me without showing a little bit of bias towards my Mercedes teammate Zach Crichton. So Zach Crichton is my prediction for pole position tonight.
I honestly agree with you. I reckon Zach has a really good chance here at pole position this afternoon, but I reckon there's going to be a couple more contenders. I reckon Aaron's going to be pretty close with him, so is Spilly, maybe even Plevs here this afternoon. Hopefully he's able to get a good result. Unfortunately, he hasn't had the best of results or best of times in the Elite Series that happens on Sundays so far. So hopefully he can get a good result here this afternoon for Renault. But it's going to be a tight one. As I said, let me know some predictions in the live chat. It looks like Pure Gold is coming out on the soft. So it's a pretty easy soft to medium strat around here. But where's definitely some of the key points around here, BK, that you're overtaking key points?
Yeah, well, if you are able to get close enough, that start-finish straight, just that dive into turn 1, if you can use DRS to your advantage, you can get it done there. If you want to be a bit risky, heading up, that approach to El Rouge, you can get it done, but like I said, massive risk. The big overtaking point tonight, though, has to be the Camel Straight. It's one of the longest straights on the calendar, DRS, a lot of slipstream. Drivers will be using their fuel and their ERS. They'll manage it just for that one particular straight, so they can fly past the other drivers. So as you can see here, Crossy's just starting a lap, but he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. That's actually his teammate of 40, so starting to be a bit of a traffic jam now. Heading through the final corners, we're going to ride on board with the Ferrari driver as he heads down the front main start-finish straight as he heads into turn 1, braking just after the 100-meter board. Very locked the inside front and run wide as he just did there. It's going to hurt him a little bit heading down this straight, but it's obviously his first run out on these tyres, so it looks like everyone will be starting on the soft compounder tyre by the looks of it, as he heads up Radion now. Very easy to run it too wide down the exit of Radion and just invalidate your time. Very easy. Heading down the Camel Straight now into Lake Coombe. You're looking around the P0 board on the right-hand side of your screen. That's normally where you want to brake around, even just a little bit later if you're more confident. Under brakes, heading through the start of the second sector now. Doesn't seem to be pushing too hard at the moment as Crossy's just trying to make sure he gets a lap in, heading into this fast right-hander here. Very easy to lock the inside front as Crossy doesn't run it too wide. That's going to hurt him all the way through that right-hand corner, now heading into the left-hand corner with no name. I don't think that's ever been named at Spa, so yeah. It's an iconic corner just because of that fact, really. Heading through Pouon now, very easy to run it out wide there as well and carry too much apex speed
Alex has got our first prediction. Predictions for Tao's retirement. Lap
Very
16.
lazy Tao's retirement. That's a bit rough.
It's a bit rough, but he seems to do it everywhere, I'll be honest. But anyway, so Tao lap 16 to retire. That's our first prediction. As he now heads into the final sector, goes Crossy. Seems to be a pretty tidy lap, but doesn't seem to be pushing too hard as of yet. Obviously, it is his first lap out. Yellow flag in sector 3, but I think that's just everyone bunching up.
Sector.
I think that's just everyone bunching up, to be honest. He's now heading up to the final bus stop chicane. Is Crossy F1.
Spilly currently fastest.
Spilly is faster with a 1 minute 43.563, but what is Crossy going to be able to do? His teammate now goes to pole position with a 43.3. What's Crossy going to be able to do? He only manages P3 with a 43.7.
43.7.
A couple of tenths there off his teammate. Spilly is currently in a Ferrari sandwich at the moment in P2. Now Gunners 0405 into P2 now with a 43.5.
His debut tonight.
It is his debut as well.
He's showing a promising bit of pace.
He is, so we'll have to see what he's able to do in the race, or if he's able to continue that throughout the rest of the qualifying session. So we'll go through your order real quick. So 40 leads away at the moment on a 43, just slotted into the 43.3s. He's on a 3.98 now. Aaron P2 with a 43.490. So he just managed to get himself into the fours. About a tenth, exactly a tenth pretty much of 40's time. So obviously it is the first run of the majority of drivers.
I hate to cut you off extra, but Zach Crichton now coming through the bus stop chicane. He comes over the line and he's gone fastest for now a 143.197. So Zach Crichton, your championship leader, 2 tenths clear of 40 in second place.
So the Mercedes driver now carrying the flag at the moment. Obviously we need to point out as well the other Mercedes driver replacing you tonight, BK, is NBC Alcatraz. He's down in P11 at the moment. He is one of our reserve drivers, so hopefully he's able to fly the Valtteri Bottas flag here this afternoon for number 2 driver. We'll have to see what he's able to do.
Yeah, well, you know, P11, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been able to have done much better myself, so it's great to see that Alcatraz is picking up right where I left off.
So we'll go through your order. I did start going through your order, but as we said, Aaron in P3 ahead of Gunners in P4, one of our new drivers in the league. P5 Spilly ahead of Crossy, Toddster, Pure Gold in P8. P9 is the Renault of Curving Texas. And then rounding out your top 10 so far is the Red Bull Abedanike Pi, who will be wanting to get some good points here this afternoon. Obviously, his teammate's been consistently in the top 5 for the majority of the races, so he'll be wanting to get some good results here. Nearly blocked the Alfa Romeo driver there. I think that was Pure Gold, but he's actually out of fuel, I believe, is Banana Cake Pie. But Pure Gold heading through the final chicane. No, he actually aborts his lap there, so he'll be coming into the pits. It might have just been a side lap there from the Alfa Romeo driver, but he's currently sitting in P8 on a 44.0, so
as
he's
Jay
about a second
Schmidt
off.
in the racing point, he's on the mediums, coming over now. He's at the moment up in the 12th, I believe. Plevs as well. Yes, Plevs is about to wrap up his qualifying lap. Just coming through that final corner now. Plevs, the Renault driver on the soft compound, crosses the line, a 143.377, and that is good enough for second place with 11 minutes remaining in the qualifying session.
So yeah, Plebs, as I talked about in the pre-show, I thought he was going to have a pretty good qualifying session here this afternoon. We'll have to see if he's able to convert that to the race. He's currently about a tenth or two off Zach Crichton's time at the moment. Obviously, as we've said a couple of times, it is only the banker run for a lot of the drivers. So we're still waiting on Extra Evolution, Tao, so both the McLarens and Dr. Dre to do a lap. And you can see Dre is now starting a lap as he heads into turn 1 of La Source, breaking around that 100-meter board and very easy to lock the inside front. And turning too early as well, and that's just going to hinder your run all the way up to El Rouge and Radion. See if he gets a nice run through here. You want to keep it a little bit narrow. You don't really want to be on the wall because it's just extending the amount of track that you have to travel on. Normally, it's okay if you do it, but it's really just adding extra meters to the racetrack. But he now heads down the Camel Straight into Lake Coombe. He now heads, breaking the P0 board on the right-hand side, pretty much between the 100 and the 50-meter board. There's a car stopped on track that's actually Spilly there. So I think Spilly's on an outlap there. He is. So he's pushed a little bit too hard.
That might have distracted Dre enough to hold him up a little bit, but we will see later on in this lap expert.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. I think Spilly might have just pushed a little bit too hard on those cold tyres. He will most likely be on the sauce, but Dre now heads through the second sector, heading up to Puon. He now goes, see if he gets this. Nice, he runs a little bit wide, doesn't get it turned in, does he invalidate? No, he doesn't, surprisingly.
Doesn't get invalidated, though.
Normally I'd get invalidated, but he now heads into the S section of the Spa circuit. Runs a little bit wide through the first part. I need to bring up a track map so I can see the corner names, but heading into this right-hander, which pretty much determines your whole run heading into the bus stop chicane. And he's now invalidated, unfortunately.
He's just been invalidated.
Yes, unfortunately for Dre, he's going to have to come back in the pits here. He's got 9 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the session to set a lap, so he's going to come back in the pits most likely to set another lap. Very Lazy Towel has also invalidated on his lap as well, so he's going to be in the same boat.
Though, just able to keep it within the limits at Puon, one of those corners where there's almost like a precise line that you need to take, because if you take it too narrow, you'll clip that inside curve and your car will go around, but you go too wide and you'll get invalidated, like what almost happened to Dr. Dre earlier on. It's one of those corners where you need to get it precisely right, and if my data is not doing me wrong here, I believe the X Revolution is currently purple. So
no, because I think Revolution's an AI at the moment, because he's just blocked Gunners. Actually, no, Gunners is on a outlap, so I think X Revolution is AI at the moment. I was just saying he looked like he was driving a little bit weird there, but yeah, he's on and out. Yeah, I think it's definitely an AI driving for him, so I'm not too sure what's happening, if he's disconnected from the session or not. I haven't seen anything.
No, X Revolution, he's just got pole.
Oh, okay, so he's in a completely wrong spot for me. He's heading through the bus stop chicane now. So I apologise for that.
Revolution's just gone pole for 143.118, just about 800 to the second. Faster than Zach Crichton, so Zach's definitely have to get that Merc back out there again, because I guarantee that he wants to start from pole position tonight, because he definitely has the pace to do it.
Yeah, so I apologise for that. Sorry, I think we're having a few difficulties here with the game, because X Revolution's heading just on the exit of La Source now for me. I'm not too sure where he is on your screen, but yeah, so Revolution now for McLaren goes to provisional pole position with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Still waiting for his teammate and Dr. Dre to set a lap. As you can see, Dre's now exiting the pits for his second run. I think, yeah, it's definitely glitched here, because you see Revolution just getting absolutely punched out of the way by Gunners, who is actually on a lap. We're going to ride on board with him as he heads through Lake Coombe. Now goes the Haas F1 driver. He has invalidated, so unfortunately for him, his time is going to not count this time round, so he's going to have to try and get back around to the pits, which he should do comfortably. Get back around to the pits and put on another set of
Someone who
tires.
hasn't been invalidated though and is currently improving is the Ferrari of 4022. Coming around Blanchmont now, he was roughly about a 10th up on his previous time, so they can find some more time. Maybe he could break into that 43.1 range, but we will see as he comes around the bus stop chicane. He comes in, activates the DRS, crossing the line a 143.231, so he does improve by about a 10th and a half, but it is not enough to crack the front row of the grid.
So it's very tight at the moment between our top three. They're all separated by under a 10th, I believe. I'll quickly confirm that for you now.
40, just a little bit over.
Yeah, just a little bit over. But Zach Crichton, 7/100ths between himself and Revolution's time. But he's obviously on a lap at the moment. Not too sure if he is up, though. Well, he's actually just up. He's 2/100ths of a second up. He's actually hit the wall there, is Zach Crichton. So that's going to hurt him. He may have got a little bit of damage.
Wing damage on that Mercedes.
Could be as he heads through Puon now. Not too sure if he's up a thing. That definitely would have cost him a bit of time as he heads into the chicane type section of 13 now into turn 14. Very easy to accelerate here and just run it out wide. He nearly doesn't, gets a lot of oversteer there. He just saves it. Heading through turn 16 now.
Is he going to be up though?
15, sorry.
He is up by 2 tenths.
Jesus.
And another driver as well who is up on their lap time heading into the bus stop chicane is Aaron L3F4. He was about 3 tenths up on his previous lap. We'll see what happens now as he comes over the finish line, and it's a 143.107. So pole has gone even faster tonight.
We're going to go back to Zach Crichton, though, as he heads into the bus stop chicane. I'm not too sure if he'll be able to crack it off Aaron's side. I think he actually will be, because he's up 2 tenths, I believe. He comes across the line into the 1 minute 42s. Goes Zach Crichton.
1 minute 42s.
0.9. So he's the first driver now into the 1 minute 42s.
Lap time from Zach Crichton.
So he's got about a 10th and a half in hand at the moment between himself and the Red Bull of Aaron. So you're going to have to see if Aaron or Revolution or 40 is going to be able to crack that. I'm not too sure. Plebs is on a lap. He is. So he's heading up to Lake Coombe now. He's actually a 10th down on his time, is Plebs. So he's going to have to find a little bit as he heads through this second and final sector. Does he invalidate? Nearly invalidates, heading through that right-hander of turn 9. Heading into turn 10, he now heads... Oh, Brussels, it's actually called. So we'll call that Brussels. Heading through turn 11, the corner with no name. Normally you want to mount that curb on the inside. It's just a little bit of free time and a little bit of track that you can find. Heading through Puon now. Very easy to turn it in too early. It's it's half an auto spin curb there as well. So if you turn in a little bit too early, it's very easy to spin the car and lose the rear end. Heading through turn 13 now. You're going to turn it in a little bit earlier than what you normally think through there, just to get the car slowed down. You're through this whole sector here. You want to kind of use the front wheels to slow you down. So you want to use the turning to slow down the car, but he's actually 2 tenths up now as Plebs.
So he's showing some promising pace. He's 2 tenths up, and Spilly as well. I was watching on board with him while you were commentating on Plebs' lap, and Spilly's about 4 or 5 tenths up on his previous lap. So Plebs and Spilly, both contenders right now for pole position. as Spilly just about to wrap up his lap, activating DRS, coming over the line, and it's a 143.175 back over to Plebs now as he comes around the final chicane. He activates his DRS, and he is able to get a 143.142. So a lot of top drivers getting that 143.1 range, but it's Zach Crichton with 4 minutes to go, the only driver that cracked the 142s.
I'll be honest here, I really think Extra Evolution and Plebs are in the best spot here because Zach Crichton and Aaron are going to be starting the front of the grid, and you do not want to be in the lead of the Grand Prix as you head up this hill here of Radion and El Rouge, heading down the Camel Straight here. You do not want to be in the lead of the Grand Prix, especially with the broken slipstream in this game. It's going to be so many overtakes heading into Lake Coombe on the first lap. We'll have to see how that goes. There's 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining, so it's looking like Zach Crichton here is going to be hard to beat. He's got a 10th and a half between himself and Aaron, so we'll have to see what the others are able to do. Obviously, Spilly and Plebs have just finished out laps. It looks like Gunners is on a lap, though. We'll have to see what he's able to do. He unfortunately invalidated his time on the previous lap as he heads up El Rouge and Radion now. Just about to jump onto the Camel Straight, opens DRS nice and wide. And you see all the crowd on the left-hand side there. As we pretty famous photo of Esteban Ocon, Perez, and Sebastian Vettel heading into Lake Coombe. He is up by 210. So at this stage, he will jump to around where Plebs and where Spilly and 40 is. At this stage, he's made a little error there, though, has Gunners, so that's going to hurt him a little bit in time. He just tipped that left front wheel into the grass. So that just slowed his straight line speed down massively into the corner with no name. Uses a lot more curve than what Plebs did. Heading up to Puon now. Going to be looking for your apex. Just gets to it, runs a little bit wide.
Just keeps it in. He's taking Puon pretty well.
You want to run us through the rest of this lap, BK?
Alright, so Gunners going through this right-left section. It's a difficult section. Sometimes you can just overshoot it, run it a little bit too wide as we're coming up to the end of the second sector. And we're going to see the split. He's up by 1/10 at the moment. That's probably not enough to improve position, but it's definitely enough to improve time. And with a lot of fast drivers, time is everything. As we are coming up now into Blanchimont, the Haas driver of Gunners on his debut, flying past now into the bus stop chicane. A vital braking zone there as he heads through the bus stop. Gunners 0405. He's about to activate DRS now, coming over the line, and he gets a 143.321. Not enough to improve on his 7th place, but it is a much faster 7th place.
So he might be able to hold on a little bit easier to the positions behind. Obviously, there's a little bit of a gap between himself and Pure Gold. It's about 3/10, but we'll have to see how that goes for him. He doesn't look like, actually, he's not going to get around to do another lap, so he's going to have to settle for P7 here, or potentially worse if the drivers behind him do improve. It looks like 40's actually on a lap, so we're going to ride on board with him. I think he's one of the first of the front runners. Actually, is Spilly? No, he's heading through La Source, so we'll ride on board with 40.
Revolution's also about to finish up his lap. He's currently just under a 10th faster, so at the moment he's looking like he could demonstrate enough pace to get past Aaron, but he's going to have to find that little bit extra.
40's gone.
Out-qualify Zach Crichton.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. 40's unfortunately invalidated his time, so he did it through Lake Coombe, and unfortunately for him, he's going to have to settle for P6 here. He's the Ferrari driver, so he's not going to be able to improve.
And also, two points I want to talk about here. Extra Evolution is just about to wrap up his lap at 143.024, so that's not enough for pole position.
It's raining.
But there is rain currently starting to drop onto the circuit, which could impact some drivers' lap times here as tyre temperatures will most likely cool down and the track could be getting a little bit slippery for these drivers.
So if you can quickly update us on what Revolution did, because he's still glitched for me on my screen, so if you're able to let us know what's the go.
X-Revolution has done a 140.024. That was his lap. Is currently P2, not enough to get pole from Zach.
So Zach's actually purple in the first sector, but I don't think he's going to be able to improve here because it's really starting to pour down now. As you can see, he's really locked up that inside front, so I think he's not going to be able to improve here, but that could be a good thing for him as well. He won't be able to get that pole taken off him. As you see, he hits a wall again for the second time in the session, but I think that's the end of the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Belgian Grand Prix qualifying session. I think Zach Crichton's going to take pole here. Revolution finishes lap. Aaron, I don't think he's going to improve. It's going to be really hard to, if anything, because it's really wet now. As you can see, he's just really struggling to keep it on track, but looks like the top three aren't going to change. Plebs managed to get into P4 as well.
Try and gain a position.
Plebs got himself up in a P4 for Renault, so he's going to be starting alongside Aaron in P3. P5 will be Spilly, alongside him will be 4022 in P6. Gunners P7. 40's teammate Crossy
lap, so
in
the
P8.
time to get...
Sorry.
Yeah, I think the optimal window to get some fast lap times out of the dryers is gone, and I've lagged out. That's not good.
I'm trying to invite you back in a sec, but across the F1, MP8,
Yeah,
P9 will be pure
not
gold, and then rounding out your top 10 will be Todd's 99. P11 will be Curving Texas, just outside of the top 10. Fortunately for him, he will get a fresh set of tyres for the beginning of the race. Not too sure if it's going to be raining either, so Banana K Pie will be 13th ahead of behind Toes Rudy in P12. P14 will be the Mercedes driver of NBC Alcatraz out of Dre, F1 Hawk, XXJ Schmidt down the racer, and unfortunately for Tao, as Alex did. Actually, was it Alex? It was Breno that predicted Tao to invalidate on his last and only run.
Invalidate on his last run.
So he's predicted well here, Breno. So Tao will not be able. We'll start from the very rear of the grid, but we're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid. We'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned for the Belgian Grand Prix. So as you can see now, the drivers are heading out now for their formation lap, 7 kilometers around the Circuit du Spa-Francorchamps. Let me know some live predictions in the chat besides Alex's predictions for Tower retirement on lap 16. So we'll have to see how close you get to that. But if you want to quickly run us through the order here, BK, just to remind the viewers on stream of the qualifying session.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we do have Zach Crichton for the Mercedes team on pole tonight. Right behind him in second place will be X Revolution. Then followed up, rounding out this top 5 of RNL304 Plebs and Spilly. And there'll be 40 Gunners on debut. A strong qualifying. We'll see if he can translate that one over into the race. Crossy, Pure Gold and Todster.
Gunners, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there, but Gunners pinned it.
Fine.
I'm not too sure if he does get taken off the formation lap if you run into the... what do you call it? The wall there, but fortunately I think damage is off,
a little bit too eager.
Yeah, he was weaving his tyres very aggressively, but luckily there's no damage on the formation lap, but he just nearly, well he definitely put it on the wall, but luckily in the F1 game there's no damage on the formation lap. But continue on, sorry.
Yeah, and rounding out this top 10, Pure Gold in 9th, Toddster 99 in 10th, so those top 10 drivers will be using the soft compound tyre that they set their fastest laps on in qualifying. So their tyres will be a little bit more worn than the rest of the grid. Curving Texas in 11th, a position he is all too familiar with. Starting on the mediums, Rudy in 12th on the softs, Banana Cake Pie 13th on the softs, Alcatraz 14th on the softs, Dre 15th, F1 Hawk 16th, Jay Schmidt in 17th, a driver who I personally would have expected a little bit higher in the grid, so he could be one to watch out for as he tries to make his way through the field. Dan the Racer at 18th, and Very Lazy Towel rounds out your grid.
Unfortunately for the McLaren of X Revolution, I think he may have spun as well, to be honest. Actually, I think he's still lagging for me, I'll be honest. Yeah, he's still glitched for me because X Revolution's heading down the, heading into sector 3 roundabout now, so... Yeah, he's still glitching.
Yeah, he's right behind Zach for me. But in the live chat as well, Alex96, his prediction is NBC Alcatraz and Banana Cake Pie to collide here on this opening lap.
So we'll have to see what those two do because they're currently sitting in P3, 13 and 14 at the moment. Let's quickly, before the Grand Prix starts, let's get your predictions for the Belgian Grand Prix. Who do you reckon is going to get the win here today and round out the podium, BK?
Alright, this is a little bit of Mercedes bias once again, but I am predicting and hoping that my Mercedes teammate Zach Crichton can convert pole position into a victory. However, I'm going to spice things up a little bit further down. I'm going to predict that Plevs is going to finish second. I think that'll be his best result of the season so far, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to predict Spilly to round out your podium in P3. What about you, Expert?
I reckon Zach Crichton's got a pretty good chance. I reckon Aaron and Plevs and Spilly will have a pretty good chance as well to get on the podium, but we're just waiting now for the light sequence to begin. As you can see, green flags have been waved. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers for the Belgian Grand Prix. And we are underway. Unfortunately, on my screen, Revolution's not there. He's still heading through the bus stop chicane, but it looks like Zach Crichton into turn 1. He now heads. I'm not too sure what the go is with X Revolution because he's not on our screen, unfortunately. So Zach Crichton on our screens leads away into turn 1. It looks like Aaron's going to slot into P2 ahead of Spilly, Plevs, Gunners. At 40, in P6, his teammates right behind him in P7 of Crossy F1, but they now head up El Rouge and ready on they go. Aaron's going to be in the slipstream here of Zach Crichton as they head down the Camel Straight. Spilly also looks like he's going to try and get a move done. There's a yellow flag. It looks like Pure Gold's unfortunately lost it at the top of Radion, but it looks like Spilly's going to try and slot down the inside. No, he's going to get the outside line heading into Lake Coombe, and it looks like the top 3 are going to be settled here, unfortunately. Actually, no, the top 3 have all stayed the same. Sorry, Plebs has held on to P4 as well. Gunner's right on the rear of that Renault gearbox. He's actually getting overtaken now by 40. Down the inside goes the Ferrari driver. Will he be able to get the move done? He probably forced him out wide. He does. So now 40 up into P5, and now Crossy drive there as well, trying to make the move on Gunners. Did you see what happened there with Pure Gold at all, BK? Heading up.
Yes, I did have my eye on it. Pure Gold and Toddson 99. I was running side by side up through El Rouge and then Radion, and then unfortunately, I don't think there was any contact, but Pure Gold just lost control of the car into the wall. A horrible start for the Alfa Romeo driver, losing 10 positions, and his car is struggling around, so they're definitely going to have to bring that Alfa Romeo in for a pit stop. So
40 actually looks like he's really racy at the beginning of the Grand Prix because he's just trying to stick his car down the inside of turn 13 on Plebs there, so he's looking really racy at the beginning of this Grand Prix, but Zach's already got a 1-second lead on Aaron L3F4, so he's pretty comfortably out of DRS and slipstream range at the moment is Zach Crichton. So we'll have to see if Aaron can catch back up. Tal already got a 3-second penalty, so that's one of Alex's wishes, I think. I'm not too sure. He's probably thinking about it, but Zach Crichton leads away, and now, actually, is Zach Crichton leading for you or X Revolution?
Yes, Zach Crichton leading 6/10 over X Revolution in second place. So I think, unfortunately, for the stream tonight, we're not going to be able to see where X Revolution is on Expert's point of view, which is obviously the point of view that we're streaming from tonight. But on my point of view, however, I can see X Revolution.
So. Sorry about that. Spilly nearly lost it at the top of El Rouge, and Radion, he got a massive tank slapper, overcorrected, and unfortunately just narrowly missed the wall. But you're going to have to update us here, Bailey, if anything with Revolution, because unfortunately he's down in P18 for us heading up down the Kemmel Straight right about now. So yeah, you're going to have to update us for anything on him. Plebs is in P4 on our screen, so we're just going to go by this. So Plebs in P4 at the moment. He's got Spilly right in front of him. He's trying to make a move on Aaron as they head through the corner with no name. The 2 Ferraris have done a pretty good job as well. They're up into the top 6. Obviously 40 leading the way in P5 and Crossy 6. Gunners has unfortunately dropped a few spots off the start, down in P7. Toddson is up to P8 already, 2 spots, but I believe he did have that contact with Pure Gold, so there could be a potential steward's incident or steward's report being filed there for later on after the race. Curving Texas has got himself up into P9. He's up 2 spots as well, and Toes Ready in P10. No, that's Gunners! Gone!
Gunners is off!
Gunners is gone, so the harsh drivers unfortunately put it in the wall. Is there a safety car? He's actually kept his tyre on, so he's very lucky there. Fortunately for him, those harsh cars are very toughly built, but unfortunately they're not very F1 car worthy built. That doesn't make any sense, but anyway. Gunners
F1
all the way down to
car,
P17. I think P18 on your screen, but
18th, yeah, a horrible start after a promising qualifying for Gunners there. He would have to be disappointed with that one, as X Revolution setting a fast lap for the Grand Prix so far.
So Revolution's in the lead for me now, but he's still heading through the final sector into the bus stop. So this is really annoying at the moment. So Racer X Lamar, you cursed him, Alex. So yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, so where's Tao actually? So Tao's now up to P13 already from the rear of the grid. So
Tao is in P13.
He's actually on P12 on our screen. So Gunners is now into the
Just
pit
an
lane.
update, hate to cut you off there, but X Revolution with
Oh, the
DRS
massive spin, curving Texas.
past Zach Crichton.
Jesus. Sorry, Kirby
What happened
Texas.
back there?
Kirby Texas has had the save of his life. There's a safety car as well, but Kirby Texas. Oh, we got that in the bottom right hand of the screen, but Kirby Texas went absolutely. He just 360'd it through Radion and managed to keep it out of the wall. So I am genuinely surprised he kept that out of the wall. But we have a safety car here at the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 3 of 22. Alcatraz is retired. So unfortunately for the Mercedes driver, is he retired on your screen or is that a glitch?
Yeah, I think that is what prompted the safety car, and obviously you can't see him on your screen, but X Revolution used the DRS to fly past Zach Crichton right before the safety car came out. So X Revolution, your current race leader.
So Toes Rudy has unfortunately retired from, has got himself a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car. Alcatraz said GG in the chat, so he's unfortunately going to be the first retirement here this afternoon. But Zach Crichton leads away. Obviously, we are under safety car conditions here at the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 3 of 22. So this could be, we might even see some drivers try and swap over to two-stop. This is really going to help Pure Gold here and Gunners, who unfortunately had that little incident at the beginning of the Grand Prix. So I'm assuming Revolution's P2 at the moment, or is he P1 on your screen?
No, Revolution's leading.
Okay, so this is very, very confusing.
Revolution got past Zach on the table straight on the dip with DRS.
Okay, so yeah, I do apologise for this on stream, guys, as well, that this has happened, but...
As Revolution peeling into the pits now, Zach following him in. Same with Aaron, same with Spilly, and Spilly actually put it into the wall there. Same with Clem,
he did, he's lost wing. I think. So Spilly's lost wing there, you can see the front wing.
Yeah, a lot of people filing into the pit, except for Banana Cake Pie, the Red Bull team, not wanting to double stack like they are at Ferrari, so it will be interesting to see what tyre compounds those drivers choose, but Banana Cake Pie will be leading yet another Grand Prix.
So we have a very slow McLaren. I think that's Revolution's car. It is. So I think Revolution's AI car on my screen just spun around, but unfortunately for, yeah, again. So Banana Cake Pie leads away at the moment, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, Banana Cake Pie leading with F1 Hawk in second, Curving Texas in third, and Dan the Racer fourth. The only 4 drivers tonight yet to make a pit stop, as everyone else opting to pit under the safety car, and by the looks of it, all for medium compound tyres.
So it is fine. This is the first time we've said this all season. Banana Cake Pie leads away under safety car conditions. F1 Hawk in P2, as you said, and Curving Texas up into P3. But obviously these 3, actually no, it's not these 3, but Curving Texas start on the medium. So this is absolutely perfect for him here, because he's got minimal traffic in front of him, and he can just try and get ahead of F1 Hawk and Banana Cake Pie if he's fast enough, and just get into some clean air and potentially even try and undercut some people in front of him. But Banana Cake Pie leads away. Obviously he's on the soft tyre, and F1 Hawk is on the soft tyre. Dan the Racer's on the softs as well, so unfortunately for them, they just really didn't want to double stack. But unfortunately they're going to have to try and stay out a little bit longer here. They won't be able to pit now because they're just going to drop too many positions, so they'll have to try and extend these tyres for as long as possible and then go onto the medium tyres a little bit later on. But the provisional leader of the Grand Prix is Zach Crichton at the moment. He's currently sitting in 5th ahead of it's X Revolution.
But the provisional leader currently is X Revolution, who is in 5th.
Okay, sorry.
This is I can tell already, this is gonna be a commentator's nightmare and a viewer's nightmare as well for the rest of the night.
Yeah, so yeah, again, I do apologise for that. So X Revolution provisionally leads away ahead of Zach Crichton in P2. P3 will be Aaron Ford. He's actually jumped up into P4 now, so he's jumped plebs in the pit stop. So the Renault team will not be happy with that. He's actually got Spilly right alongside him, so I'm not too sure what these two are doing. I'm not too sure if they just overtook each other.
Observation I've made as well, all of these drivers who have pit under the safety car, they've all opted for the mediums except for Gunners, who is currently on the soft tyre. So it's a bit of an unorthodox strategy, so we'll see how it plays out for him, but I don't think it's going to be too beneficial.
But obviously Gunners as well, he did pit a little bit before the safety car, because he did have to change out front wing on the previous lap. So unfortunately, I think he'll be going for a 2-stop definitely in this race. But a lot of the drivers are actually swapping positions here. I'm not too sure if they're just trying to settle where they were supposed to be. But Plevs has now finally got himself back out of Spilly, so I'm not too sure what the Racing Point driver was doing there. The safety car will be going around for another lap. Who's that into pits? Dan the Racer into the pit lane now, so he
Dan the Racer
doesn't want to risk anything. He's coming into the pits. He'll go to the rear of the grid. Pure Gold, I believe that is, all the way down in P18 still. So he's not pushing at all. He's actually keeping the safety car out for a little bit here. He doesn't want to push these mediums too hard, but he's got to catch up, because if he takes too long here, he's not going to be able to get back around to the tail of the safety car grid before the end. Actually, he will get there pretty comfortably, so he doesn't really need to push too hard, but he really needs to save these tyres, as unfortunately Alcatraz has left the session. He is our first and only retirement so far in the Grand Prix, lap 5 of 22. Doesn't seem like many laps. Normally some of the Grand Prix can be around the high 20s to 30s, but obviously this is the longest track that the F1 calendar travel, or the F1 franchise travels to each year, so that's why there's only 22 laps on the board here this afternoon. This is a 50% race as well, but Banana Cake Pie ready to get going in that Red Bull car. He's going to try and blitz F1 Hawk off the start, but obviously, as we said at the beginning of the Grand Prix, it's not the most ideal spot to be starting at the front of the grid, or the front of the pack.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add as well, I believe that Dan the Racer waited one extra lap just because he didn't want to cause a hold-up in the Williams garage with his teammate Toddster. And another strategy note as well, Dan the Racer, the only driver on the field right, or on track right now, who has opted for the hard compound tyres. So I believe Dan the Racer will try and get those to last to the end, and I think it's still a massive unknown as well whether or not all these medium runners who just came in, if they're going to try and get those tyres to last to the end, or if they're going to maybe try and get another softer medium run out of it. But we will wait and see. So
Tao's up to P11 now. We've just had, that's been pointed out by Alex, and Alex reckons Crossy's going to absolutely send one into turn 1, taking him out. So we'll have to see.
Wiping Tao out.
We'll have to see there. So none of the people in the chat are really rooting for Tao here. They all want him to retire. So very positive and non-biased chat we have here.
Yeah, safety car coming in this lap as well. So
safety car is in this lap. Banana Cake Pie will dictate the pace. Obviously, there is no overtaking until you cross the control line, otherwise known as the start-finish line. So we'll have to see when he opts to go as well. He's trying to get some heat into those tyres. Obviously, he's on the worn soft, so he's not going to have as much grip. Obviously, he's curving Texas behind eventually, because he is on the mediums. They are a little bit more durable than the soft compounded tyre, but I think curving Texas here will need to get a really good start. I think Banana's gone. No, he hasn't. So we're waiting for the Red Bull driver to put the gas pedal down. He's waiting all the way to the bus stop chicane, which I think is the smart thing to do. You don't want to go any earlier. Could even see him take it all the way to the line. We'll have to see, but he's
made a slight mistake there.
He has gone now, so he has gone. So Banana Cake Pie now leads away as the safety car restart has concluded. Sorry, the safety car has concluded. F1 Hawk in P2 ahead of Curving Texas, who's right up his gearbox, heading through La Source, we need to watch Curving Texas here. He may try and make a move, heading into Lake Coombe, down the Camel Straight. Is that crying to MP5? I'm assuming P5 at the moment, Revolution P4?
Yes, it is currently P5, Revolution P4, Revolution all over the back of Curving Texas.
Okay, yeah,
but
so
I
that's
don't
not
think that he's going to be able to get a move done at the moment.
So Texas, I think, was defending from Revolution there. I'm not too sure. He did just pull over to the right-hand side, but F1 Hawks right all over the back of that Red Bull car as they head into the second sector now. Banana Cake Pie really struggling to get some heat into those tyres. Curving Texas trying to keep up. Obviously, he doesn't have the same grip that Banana Cake Pie and F1 Hawk will have, but it will come to him eventually when these two use up their tyres a little bit quicker, as they are on a softer compound compared to the Renault driver. So I don't think this was actually an ideal safety car here for Curving Texas. Well, there are pros and cons. So pros is obviously he doesn't have much traffic in front of him if you can get ahead of these two. But unfortunately, the con is that everyone's all bunched up. Now there's a yellow flag. Who's that? Tao's got a penalty. But I'm not too sure who's in the wall. It's Gunners. Gunners in the wall for a second time.
Made a mistake at pool.
Oh, he's taken out Revolution's AI car on our screen, but anyway, Gunners.
Yeah, and just an update as well, while all this is going on, X-Revolution has overtaken Curving Texas, so X-Revolution up into the podium places, and now Curving Texas is acting like a little bit of a roadblock in between Revolution and Zach Crichton, so if X-Revolution can quickly dispose of F1 Hawk and Banana Cake Pie, Revolution could be at a massive advantage here to try and get this race win.
We're going to ride on board with Tao here as Crossy has finally got ahead of the McLaren driver, unfortunately. Oh, he's actually hit him now, has Tao, so he's definitely going to have front wing damage now, is the McLaren driver. And unfortunately, Crossy got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting, so he's definitely going to get that removed post-race. So unfortunately for Crossy, that won't hurt him because he'll definitely get that removed very easily. But I think Tao has a very high chance here of having front wing damage. He rear-ended the Ferrari there very hard. So Banana Cake Pie, I'm assuming, still leads away. And as you said, so
X-Revolution currently in second, but Hawk is under fire from not only Curving Texas, but Zach Crichton as well. They're almost 3 wide.
Oh, he sticks it down there.
There's a little bit of contact.
Oh, okay. Aaron cut that corner.
They're all bunched up, and now 40. 40's going to try and get a move done. Oh, even more contact. A few impatient drivers here as now Plebs and Aaron, and I can't even keep up with all this action anymore.
I'll take over here. Sorry, Plebs. Looks like he's trying to get the job done. I unfortunately don't know where X-Revolution is at the moment. So Curving Texas had a very poor run. Heading to the corner with no name. Zach Ryan's going to try and stick his nose down the inside, heading into Poo 1. Does Curving Texas fight? He tries to do it, but he gets forced out wide now. I think his teammates didn't have a very nice run on him. Heading into turn 13. He's not going to be close enough, though, is Plebs. So whereabouts is Revolution on our screen? Sorry, I'm not on your screen, sorry.
Revolution is right on the back of Banana Cake Pie.
Okay, so
X-Revolution very close to being able to get a move done for the race lead.
So F1 Hawk's in P3 at the moment, actually. Zach Crichton in P4. He's got F1 Hawk in front of him. He nearly lost it heading through that right-hander there, but Curving Texas P5 rather. Plebs in P6 ahead of Aaron, who's actually getting overtaken now by 40. Down the inside, heading into Blanchimon, and he's going to get the move done pretty easily there. It's 40. Ferrari power unit just taking over from that Honda, but now down the inside goes Spilly. Double maneuver there. He nearly tried to do it.
More contact.
So Spilly's now got a 5-second penalty there. He really sent it down the inside. I'm not too sure if he was actually deep under brakes or the two in front of him just broke real early, but he nearly got a double maneuver done there. Aaron's dropped another position now to Todd, so he's all the way back down to P11 now is Aaron. We need to remember as well, X-Revolution is actually in the lead. Actually, I think he's made a jump back now. Has he jumped back?
X-Revolution currently a race leader. He pulled off a similar move on Banana Cake Pie that what 40 did on Aaron around Blanchimont. So at the moment, X-Revolution leading, but with DRS now enabled, Banana Cake Pie is going to try and hold up with him as much as he can.
So now Zach Crichton's finally got ahead of Curving Texas now as well. So he's up in a P3, I believe now is Zach Crichton. Curving Texas has his teammate right behind him as well. I'm not too sure. Now 40 down the inside. Nearly makes contact there. Does F1 Hawk. 40 absolutely centered. He's not stuffing around here. Is a Ferrari driver. So now he puts a car in between the two Renaults. So 40 absolutely centered. It was very late in the corner, so there could potentially, I don't know if there was any contact there at all between either driver, so I'm not too sure if Plebs will be too happy with that, but 40's been really aggressive this race. That's something I've noticed. He's been absolutely sending it. He's going down the inside now. Curving Texas into turn 13. Does he get the move done? Obviously, he's on fresh tyres. He gives the Renault a little nudge as he now heads into turn 15. He's got to try and get a run off here if he wants to get the move done, potentially into the bus stop chicane. He's going to have a nice slipstream down the straight. Spilly looks like he's also trying to try and get a move done on Plebs in front, but Plebs had very nice drive, unlike Spilly heading on the down the straight. Unfortunately for Texas, he's not going to have a slipstream in front of him, so I think 40's going to get a move done here, heading into the bus stop chicane. Texas defends the inside line, so he's not able to get it done this lap, but Plebs around the outside now of 40, heading into the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to get it done? No, he doesn't, so it's currently two Renaults, a Ferrari, and a Racing Point here battling for P3, so P5 rather in this Grand Prix. There's going to be side by side by the two Renaults, 3 wide into La Source. Who's going to get the job done? 40 pushes them all out wide, and he gets a double maneuver done. They're going to get 3 wide, heading into this next right-hander. Will he be able to get it done? They're side by side now. It's 40 and Spilly as they head up. El Rouge Radion and 40's forced back out as Plebs. He's spun round into the wall, and unfortunately for Plebs, he is now out of the Grand Prix, and there's a virtual safety car. And Plebs is going to, I can imagine, I know exactly what Plebs is saying right now, but he is going to be very angry, is Plebs. 40 was been super aggressive there. I don't think it was his fault, that incident. I think he just got caught in the dirty air there, but that was a very hectic little battle there for P5, I believe. I believe it was P5 on your screen. I'm not too sure what it is. P4. For me, it was P4. Okay, P4, so I was correct on my screen. I'm not too sure. But down the race, a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cutting under virtual safety car. So, unfortunately for him, he's just got himself a very...
and a little bit more contact. I think that was between Spilly and 40 there, and I saw a little bit of wing come off, so there might be a little bit of wing damage.
Oh, he's gone! There's a massive crash! The Red Bull and the Williams have gone now. Tots is gone, and the Red Bull of Aaron's also got damage. So unfortunately, there's massive carnage after the virtual safety car restart. Aaron's got no right end plate, so unfortunately, he's going to have to come into the pits. As now Totsa is trying to get out of the wall through Puon, so I'm not too sure what happened there, but there's massive carnage. So I'm assuming Revolution leads away at the moment ahead of Banana Cake Pie, MP2. P3 will be Zach Crine, who is trying to hunt down that Red Bull in front of him. Curving Texas, P4 ahead of Spilly. Then the two Ferraris, and now going side by side through Blanchimon. Does he get the job done? 40 holds on. 2P6 here. And now Crossy trying to go around the outside of his teammate, heading into the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to get the job done? No, he actually pulls in the pits now. Does 40, so I think he had damage. So did F1 Hawk. So now, Crossy now up into P6. Very lazy Tower up into P7. Now, so Tower's looking very good from the rear of the grid. He has also made his pit stop, I believe. Actually, has he made his pit stop? I'll check for you.
Yeah, he has made his pit stop.
So Tower's done actually really good job here.
Could be a contender for driver of the day, coming from last up to 6th. And just another note as well, I don't think that F1 Hawk had any damage. What's happened up ahead?
Dr. Dre, he had a massive tank slapper. They're heading through Radion, so he just kept that Toro Rosso out of the wall. Now Kevin Texas and Spilly are going to go side by side as they head into Lake Coombe. And it looks like the Renault driver's going to hold on. I think there's a massive... I think whole thing's glitched at the moment because... Has Banana Cake Pie made a pit stop on your screen?
Yes, he has.
Okay, so he has made a pit stop.
F1 Hawk both came in last lap.
Okay, so
the
now
medium compound top.
It is Revolution that actually leads the way at the moment, ahead of Zach Crine in P2. P3 will be Curving Texas. And he's actually getting passed now by Spilly down the inside. He tried to make them do the job. There did Spilly.
Wisely thinks better though.
He does think better of it though, so he's going to hold back behind that Renault for another lap. So Crossy MP5 at the moment. Obviously, we need to remember as well, just on stream, just so I don't look like an idiot. You need to add one position to everyone here because X Revolution's not actually down in P16. He's actually in the lead of the Grand Prix, but there's a little bit of a glitch here, unfortunately, on our end. Very Lazy Tower in P6 at the moment, so he's done a very good job. He has Pure Gold right behind him, and that's in the wall. Pure Gold in the wall. Very luckily kept it. I don't think he got any damage. He's definitely hit the wall, but doesn't actually look like he has any damage. He's very easy to do that, especially when you're following another driver. Just get a lot of understeer because that wall comes out of you very quickly. And now Spilly's getting moves on Curving Texas and Spilly.
He overshot it by a mile and 10 seconds worth of time penalties there.
So, will Spilly get the spot up?
Yeah, he's redressed it at the moment to Curving Texas, which is just going to hold Spilly up because, as we know, Texas he still has to make his pit stop in a few laps' time, you'd assume, for some soft compound tyres. So all this battling with Texas means that Spilly's going to be open to an assault from Crossy if Crossy can catch up.
So yeah, so at the moment, Spilly's going to be in the slipstream here of Curving Texas, and I don't think he'll be able to get that 10-second removed, unfortunately, if it was his own fault, but he's going to go to the outside line now. Is the Racing Point driver, Curving Texas, trying to fight it, but unfortunately just doesn't have the straight line speed. Without that DRS and slipstream, Banana Cake Pie down in P14, just got himself a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings, but now it looks like the Racing Point driver's up into P4, so P3 actually, sorry, P3. It glitched, so yeah.
P3, Texas, P4.
Yeah, okay, so it's kind of glitching still, it's really confusing at the moment, I do apologise. So, getting a couple more predictions in the chat. Racer says, Tao looking impressive, Alex, then boom, gone. So he's really not rooting for Tao here. Well, he is rooting for Tao to crash, pretty much, but yeah, so we'll have to see what he's able to do. He's currently in P6 at the moment. He's trying to catch up to Crossy. He's within DRS range here, is the McLaren driver. He's trying to catch up to that Ferrari in front. I believe Crossy has made a pit stop, so we're just waiting at the moment for Curving Texas. I believe he'll be the last driver to make a pit stop. He will be. He's currently sitting in P4 at the moment. So as they now start lap 11. Sorry, where's Revolution on your screen? Can I just ask? Tell me when he crosses the line on your screen. Tell me when he crosses the line.
Revolution is about to cross the finish line right now.
Okay, so he's got a pretty good he's got a pretty good margin at the moment as Zach has Revolution. So he's got over a second, I do believe. If I'm
he
correct.
was in the third sector. Sorry to cut you off, but it looks like Dan the Racer around the Blanchimont, he's made some kind of mistake. I don't know if it was an error or if there was contact with another driver, but that Williams going awfully slowly there.
That's a very odd spot there for Dan the Racer, so I'm not too sure if I'm pretty sure he would have made contact with someone if he spun around there. He has not got a left end plate there, so
there must have been. He's brought into the pits.
Yeah, so that's a very odd spot to be spun around. So Plebs, unfortunately, he's now gone on to the hard compound of tyre, so he will be down in P18 trying to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Revolution still leads away at the moment. Zach Crine MP2, P3 Spilly, P4 Curving Texas, Crossy P5 Tao still trying to catch up. He did have DRS that time around, but wasn't able to make the move stick. Pure Gold's right behind him though. He's going to try and set up a move. He won't be able to get it done into Puon, but he may even try and do it heading into the bus stop chicane here with Pure Gold. We'll have to see what that number 2 Alpha Romeo car can do. Dr. Dre, P7, P8, Aaron L3, F4, P9, XHJ Schmidt. And rounding out your top 10 will be Gunners 0405. He's done a pretty good recovery drive here as Gunners, considering he's done 2 pit stops, and it looks like he may even try and get a move done here on Schmidt as they head up into turn 13. He's going to go to the inside line now on the Racing Point driver. Will he be able to get it done? He makes contact there, I think, with the Racing Point driver. Ran a little bit too deep. He's trying to hang it around the outside. Obviously, he's on the softer compounded tyre compared to Schmidt, and it will be fresher as well, so he will have a lot more grip. He cuts that corner there, did Gunners, so that's going to hurt him all the way down the straight, but Schmidt nearly puts it in the wall there, does the Racing Point driver, so he's going to get a very nice run here. His Gunners, he may try and get the move done. Heading into Blanchimont, I don't think Schmidt's trying to battle it here. They're going to go side by side, heading into the fastest corner on the racetrack, flat out in a modern day F1 car. And it looks like Gunners is going to sit behind that Racing Point just for another lap. I think he'll be able to get it done pretty quickly, but he actually pits now.
He's peeled into the pits.
So this will be his 3rd stop of the Grand Prix, so I'm not too sure what's happening with him.
He did pit for softs under that safety car. I didn't think he was going to be able to make it to the end, and that's exactly what has happened. He hasn't made it to the end, and it looks like the Haas crew are preparing some medium tyres for his car. Coming out the pits now, yes. So Gunners 0405 and the Haas coming out on medium tyres.
So have a look here, as it looks like Curving Texas now. So Spilly and Crossy are now actually no, it's Curving Texas and Crossy, sorry, I apologise for that, are now swapping positions. So yeah, Crossy now
up in the 4th.
Is now up in a fourth for Ferrari. So Curving Texas now is really going to start to feel the wear on those medium tyres. He needs to try and extend these for as long as possible so he can have a very quick soft run, but obviously battling all these drivers is just going to slow him up here and this whole pack, so it's just going to cost him more time when he comes into the pits. But now Very Lazy Tails right behind him as well, and look at that, Pure Gold, massive tank slapper there, heading through Pure, and he just keeps it out the wall. He's gone now, and Pure Gold into the wall. So the Alfa Romeo driver's into the wall. I think Dre may have made a little error as well. No, he's continuing. Sorry, I thought I saw on the side of the screen they made an error. So now, unfortunately for Pure Gold, it looks like you got a tank slapper heading through the first part of Puon, and he ran really wide. Unfortunately, you can't put the accelerator down when you're out in the marbles there. So he is now all the way down in P12 and will definitely have front wing damage. You can see the whole right side of his front wing is completely gone, so will completely damaged. So unfortunately for him, he will need to make another pit stop. But oh, Zach nearly binned it again. He nearly put it in the wall there on the heading up on the main straight. So it's a very odd place there, but it looks like he just jabbed it back to the left there in time. But now Tao up into P5 now for McLaren, getting himself up into the top 5. So nice job there from Tao. Obviously Texas is still yet to make a pit stop, so he will be coming into the pits very shortly as well. There's 22 laps in this Grand Prix and they're on lap 14, so I think he'll be pitting around this or potentially next lap for the Renault team.
Yeah, personally, I think that Curving Texas maybe should have pit a lap or two ago. There would have been question marks over whether or not the soft compound tyres would have made it to the end. But Texas is losing way too much time now battling as he tries to get past Very Lazy Tao yet again. So even though, a little bit of contact with Tao there, but even though Texas has much worn tyres in comparison to his rivals, he's still showing a lot of fight today, trying to fight for every single position that he can get his hands on today.
So as you can see now, sorry about that, Curving Texas, as we just said, has been overtaken by Tao. Now Dr. Dre's actually doing a really good job here. Unfortunately, he hasn't had the best of luck in these other in the previous races, so he's actually up into the points now. So I'm not too sure where he is in the driver's standings. I'll quickly update you on that in a moment, but he's doing a pretty good job at the moment in P7 for Toro Rosso.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, he's one of those drivers where he shows up every week. He might not be in the points, but he's still a solid driver. And with all the controversies that's happened today, with Aaron only just making it back inside the points, and then drivers like 40 and Toddster and Plebs and Pure Gold just at the moment outside the points, it's meant that drivers like Banana Cake Pie and Dr. Dre are able to capitalise. And tonight we could see them get some pretty handy points to their respective drivers' championship hopes. As Curving Texas now, he comes into the pits and he's actually sped into the pits. So 5-second time over there, speeding into the pit lane.
See, he's not going to be happy with that whatsoever, is the Renault driver, but Just need to point out as well, Dr. Dre's only on 1 point. He's down in P20 at the moment. He's now up into P6. He's in 20th for the standings at the moment. So he's up to P6 now, is Dr. Dre. So he's going to take home a lot of points here this afternoon. So unfortunately for Texas, he just had to serve that 5-second stop go there in the pits. So he will drop all the way down to P14. So unfortunately, Renault's hopes there of potentially both getting in the top 10 here this afternoon have gone from bad to worse. But obviously, Curving Texas is on that soft compounder tyre, so he will be a little bit quicker later on in the session. But if you want to quickly update us real quick, BK, on what the top 5 are doing with time penalties, that would be good. Just so, I think we've had a couple of people asking in the live chat, so if you can update us on what's going on with the time penalties in the top 5, that would be great. But Revolution, as we just said, leads away 2.3 seconds at the moment. Obviously, that's not actually where Revolution is on track. We are still managing this little glitch here, unfortunately. So
yeah, Revolution currently 2.2 seconds over Zach Crichton. That is the current gap. Zach is closing that one down as we speak. But onto the penalty front now for your top 5 drivers. Revolution currently sitting on 2 warnings. That goes with Zach as well, 2 warnings. Spilly, a few warnings there, and then right here it says 15 seconds worth of time penalties, and I think he's only 1 warning away from another one. Crossy, only 1 warning, and then a 10-second time penalty as well. And then very lazy Tao, a lot of warnings and a lot of penalties.
yeah, so Tao, sorry, how many seconds did you say Tao had, sorry?
I think he has 9.
9 seconds, okay, yeah, because Racer X just said that he had 9 seconds in the chat, but we weren't too sure about that. So thanks for clarifying that, BK, as we are on lap 16 of 22 in this Grand Prix. 6 laps remain in the Belgian Grand Prix. It's looking like Revolution. Oh, I'm actually not too sure. So is Zach actually catching up to Revolution here, did you say?
Yeah, at the moment, the gap is sitting sort of neutral right now, but Revolution isn't necessarily pulling away. So there are some sections where the gap is staying about the same, but then there are also some parts of the track where Zach Crichton is just much quicker. So if Zach can keep catching up to Revolution at a consistent rate, we could see a showdown between the McLaren and the Mercedes towards the end of this Grand Prix. That will be something that we have to wait and see.
That would be something that you'll be able to wait and see. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see it.
Oh yes, only me. It's
yeah, so
it's VIP access, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. You got to pay. You got to subscribe to the Race Spec channel, and you also got to pay up to be able to see it for exclusive access. So
pay subscription service.
Yeah, PayPal me. I'll keep the money though. I won't. We won't.
PayPal BKXI.
Oh, no, don't do that. But anyway, Revolution leads away again. I'm not too sure what the gap is if you're able to.
1.8, so already this lap, it's down to 1.7 now, so in this last lap alone, Zach Crichton has gained, now it's down to 1.5. The gap is just getting smaller and smaller as Zach Crichton, fast lap of Grand Prix right
Yellow
there.
flag, sorry, Harsh Driver's gone, F1 Hawk is now gone, heading through turn 14, so unfortunately for him, does he have any front wing damage on that Haas car? Fortunately,
it looks like it, yeah, on that left side. There is a bit of wing damage, so
so he doesn't have
there is some wing damage there on the left-hand side. They're going to have to bring that Haas in, and it's unfortunate for F1 Hawk because when he was racing in Tier 2, he showed a lot of pace, a lot of promise, but unfortunately, his season so far in Tier 1 just hasn't lived up to his own expectations. But now the other Haas of Gunners 0405, a 146.3. That is your new fastest lap of the race, and what a lap by the Haas.
So you're going to have to update us here when Zach Crichton goes for a move. We'll get really close because I honestly can't see it. There's now F1 Hawks, unfortunately retired from the Grand Prix in the pits, so there will not be a safety car here. So yeah, so unfortunately for F1 Hawk,
safety car would spice things up.
Oh, it would spice things up.
The moment the one's not coming out. I can't run through. I'll give you a run through of your top 10 because I can actually see all of our drivers. Revolution, 1.5 seconds clear of Zach Crichton. Spilly rounding out your podium in 3rd. Crossy 4th. Tao 5th. Dr. Dre in 6th. Aaron in 7th. A little bit of a recovery drive for him after a few incidents early on. Jay Schmidt in 8th. He came off the back of the grid as well.
Sorry, keep going. Sorry, my bad.
And then Banana Cake Pie and Rudy rounding out the top 10. And points not only for those 2 guys, but also for Dr. Dre would be great for their seasons.
So obviously, on my screen, Revolution's got AI cars about to get lapped by Zach. So, it's a little bit glitched, as I've said multiple times. But Let's have a look at some of the
glitched,
other
but
drivers as well. So Tao's actually got 9 seconds, did you say? So where's he going to drop to? We'll just wait for these arrows to go away for us.
Roughly, that could drop him down to roughly around where Jay Schmidt, Banana Cake Pie, and Rudy is, that 8th to 10th place range. That 9 seconds will drop him around there, but then again, that is assuming that Schmidt, Banana, and Rudy don't have penalties of their own.
So Banana does have a penalty, I know that.
Yeah, with all these penalties as well, we were talking before about Dr. Dre not having so many points so far, but if he can keep it clean and consistent for these next 5 laps, we could see Dr. Dre getting a top 5 out of this Belgian Grand Prix, which would be fantastic for the Toro Rosso team.
So, unfortunately for Zach here, he's got 0 ERS. He had 0 ERS heading down the Kemmel Straight. He's fortunately been able to get a little bit back heading through the sector. What's the gap now between himself and Revolution?
1.2 seconds. So he's getting very close to that DRS range of X Revolution, and Zach is, he's currently pushing a lot right now because I think he wants to try and get into that DRS range before the next set of DRS straights. So then he can have a shot at trying to get this win, as right now the gap 1.0 seconds, so we are getting very close to a showdown between Zach Crichton and X Revolution, and as I'm saying this right now, the gap has already dropped to 9 tenths, now 8 tenths.
At the moment, I just want to point out, this is not X Revolution's car, this is his AI car that is about to get overtaken by Zach. You can see here it's a little bit glitched, unfortunately, so Revolution's car is about to get punted on my screen.
Unfortunately for the stream, we are going to be robbed of a showdown for the victory here at the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps.
Just want to point out, that was not Revolution getting overtaken there. That was his glitched AI car for our screen. So he is still in the lead of the Grand Prix. So BK will update us, hopefully, when he does actually get overtaken in this Grand Prix. But obviously on all these driver screens as well, Revolution's not where he is for us. So it's completely glitched. That's why Zach was pretty much punting him. But yeah. So Spilly's in P2 at the moment ahead of Crossy, who's looking like he could potentially get a podium here this afternoon for Ferrari. I believe he's never gotten a podium in the series. Really? So this will be his first podium as well. So take home some good points here for Ferrari. I don't believe he's actually beaten 40 as well this season, except for Melbourne. I think it was only Melbourne where 40 unfortunately spun round at the beginning of the Grand Prix. But now Banana Cake Pie and Schmidt are swapping positions. And it looks like the Racing Point driver is going to get ahead. Will Banana try and fight it back? He's up into overtake. Will he be able to get the move done down the Kemmel Straight? He's going to slot into the slipstream. Does he go to the inside or the outside? He goes to the outside now, heading into Lake Coombe. Will he be able to get the job done around the outside now? Is Banana Cake Pie. Oh, he gets cut off there, and they think they did have contact. So potential damage there for Banana Cake Pie on that front wing, but I don't think he'll be too happy with Schmidt there. He gives him a little bit of a weave, heading down that short straight, heading into turn 16. Not 16. I'm not even going to try. I don't know why I said 16, but yeah, heading into that corner.
Meanwhile, as well, during this battle for 8th place, Rudy, for the Toro Rosso team, he's also been able to latch himself onto the back of this. So if Rudy can spend these next 3 and a bit laps just biding his time, he could gain 2 positions out of this fight.
You can see Banana's right on the rear of Jay Schmidt, heading into turn 13. He's got to just try and keep with him, and he may be able to get a move done heading into the bus stop chicane, or if he wanted to be really tactical here, he could just try and sit behind him. He's pretty much pushing him here. There's Banana as they head through this fast right-hander, and he unfortunately just got understeer massively from the dirty air on that Racing Point car, but he will have slipstream available to him. If I was him, I'd probably chuck it down to none at the moment, just try and save it up a little bit and wait to get a move done heading into Lake Coombe. But I think Spilly's actually, that's a glitch car, sorry about that. So XXJ Schmidt runs a little bit deeper now. Banana's trying to hang it around the outside here. Schmidt, he nearly got a dump, but unfortunately I don't think Schmidt was expecting him to do that, and they kind of did make contact. So will Banana dive down the inside and turn when he does to the Red Bull driver down the inside of Jay Schmidt. I think Banana should back out here so he can get DRS. That would be the smart thing here to do. He does, so Schmidt will not be able to get DRS here, unfortunately, down the straight. So Banana was smart as they now head up Radion.
Dre moves into top 5 as well. He's gone past Tao.
So we're going to keep on board with this battle here for Jay Schmidt and Banana Cake. This is for the battle of P7, I believe, in this Grand Prix. So he's going to go around the outside. There's Banana. What a move there from the Red Bull driver. So what position was that for?
That was for P8, and also while this was going on as well, I was keeping my eye on a spicy battle between 40 and Curving Texas for 12th. and Curving Texas has seemingly won that battle. And now Texas, if he can break away from 40, he has fairly fresh soft compound tyres, so he might be able to make a push to the top 10 if he can gain enough time in his last couple of laps.
And look who's actually caught up now to the back of this little train between Schmidt, Toes, Rudy, Banana. It's actually Gunners now, so Gunners will be the next innocent bystander when Curving Texas comes up to him. So unfortunately for him, I think Texas will get the job done pretty easily. And this is only going to help Texas because there's 2 laps remaining in the Grand Prix and he's on that soft compounded tyre. So if Texas pushes really hard, he may even be able to catch up here if these guys start battling. But it looks like Toes Rudy may get a move done here on Jay Schmidt. Banana's absolutely blitzed the Racing Point car. He's going to try and hang it around the outside through Blanchimon. Is Toes Rudy. Will he be able to get it done on the Canadian Grand Prix winner? No, he doesn't. So it's hard, but he's doing it. Max Verstappen here. Is Toes Rudy. Will he be able to get the job done in the same car as well? I believe that was on Felipe Nasser. Max Verstappen did that on, heading through Blanchimon, going around the outside. So the Toro Rosso driver wasn't able to get the job done, but now he's coming under pressure from the Haas in front of him of Gunners. So behind him of Gunners, and he wasn't able to get the job done, but he will have DRS this time around. Toes Rudy got a very poor exit. They're heading down this straight, and it looks like now... Actually, that's the glitch car X Revolution, so never mind about that. So, Rudy now.
Gunners all over the back of Rudy, heading up now through Radion, and the Haas driver of Gunners is going to get DRS, and it'll be interesting to see Rudy going for that outside line. So Gunners, he has the opportunity, if he chooses to make a big dive. He goes for the big dive. He probably could have broken later to try and guarantee himself getting that position, but he holds his line, and Gunners, on debut, he has just moved into the top 10.
Okay, so Gunners is in the top... Gunners is P10?
Gunners has just overtaken Rudy for the top 10.
Okay, sweet. So actually, this is looking good for Banana Cake Pie here because all these guys behind him are battling. So I think at this stage he's only going to drop 1 position to Aaron, I believe. Yeah, at this stage he's only going to drop 1 position to Aaron, his tail. So he's looking on for P6 here. Is the McLaren driver to take home some points. I believe he has 0 points or maybe even 1. I'm not too sure. But now Dan the Racer down in position 15 behind
Gunners
his teammate.
Now as well. Sorry to cut you off there, but Gunners has just flown past Jay Schmidt. So Gunners, he is on much fresher medium tyres. Gunners only 8 laps old. Schmidt and Rudy, their tyres are 17 laps old. And the tyre wear is really starting to come into effect here because Gunners is really disposing of these guys.
And now, sorry, did Dr. Dre get a move done on Tao before? Or...
He did before, but it seems like Tao's got
he
back.
does. We got that on stream.
I hate to cut you off right now. I'm cutting you off right now, sorry. But Zach Crichton is right on the rear of X Revolution. They've come down the Kemmel Straight. Zach Crichton's car is currently in front. He has a full car length past, and on the final lap of the Grand Prix, Zach Crichton has gotten the move done. Zach Crichton in the Mercedes has overtaken X Revolution to take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Well, he hasn't actually overtaken anyone on our screens, but that's great. But Spilly looks like he will take home a solid P3 here at the moment. He's run a pretty lonely second stint, but obviously we need to remind you as well, X Revolution is actually in P2 at the moment. His car says he's down in P12, but it's a little glitch in the game, so unfortunately for us it doesn't really help. So Crossy will be home on for a P4 here, but this battle between Tal and Dre is not over yet for P5 in this Grand Prix. Dr. Dre did also just get the move back on Tao, heading down the Kemmel Straight. Todd's now fast with a 45.6, so he takes that off Gunners. So he now will take that 1 point away from, who was it? From the Haas driver. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Another thing as well to note is that I did say before that the tyre wear is starting to come into effect and Gunners is flying past. He has overtaken Banana Cake Pie, and I'm going to cover right now to the end of the Grand Prix because X Revolution, he's going to try and dive it down the inside of Zach Crichton at the final corner. Zach locks up, slightly outbrakes himself. X Revolution, he's going to try and get a switchback, but it's not going to be enough. Zach Crichton wins another Grand Prix this season by 1/10 over X Revolution.
So Revolution will come home P2, unfortunately not actually on our streams will come home P2. P3 will go to the Racing Point driver of Spilly. So congratulations to our top 3. Unfortunately, yeah, we do apologise for that little glitch in the game. But Crossy actually now into P3 now for Ferrari. So he takes his first podium of the Pacific Series. Congratulations
to him. Up in the third now.
Dre up in the third. So what a drive there from the Toro Rosso. He'll be absolutely stunned with that, without a doubt.
Aaron in the 4th, Crossy 5th, Spilly 6th, Tao 7th, Gunners 8th, but now Banana Cake Pie's taking 8th, Rudy's 9th. Schmidt's 11th, Texas is... penalties have thrown a massive spanner in the works And Dr. Dre, I don't think he was even in the top 20 introductions at the start of today's Grand Prix, but he's just walked away with 15 valuable championship points.
So he's done a very good job here, Dre, just keeping himself clean with penalties. So unfortunately, I don't think he's actually finished in the top 10 for any of the races yet. I believe so. Actually, I think he may have finished in the top 10 once. I think he's finished 10th once. So Aaron in P4. He will come home P4 in the end for Red Bull ahead of Crossy Spilly. Very Lazy Tail will come home P7 in the end ahead of the Banana Cake Pie in P8. P9, Toes Rudy and rounding out your top 10. Taking home one singular point, making 3 pit stops in this Grand Prix will be Gunners. So congratulations to him on his first inaugural race in the PS4 Pacific Series. And then it will be Schmidt in 11th. But we'll do some post-race interviews here this afternoon for you straight after we read out your provisional results. Well, from P11. What a race. Honestly, I reckon it's going to be tight between Dre and Tao, to be honest, for driver of the day. Who do you reckon?
That was outstanding. I think that considering just if you put the penalties into effect, you keep everything as they are provisionally, you cannot go past Mr. Dre, Mr. NWA, you cannot go past Dr. Dre 3000, and I have got confirmation now that his best result before today was a 10th place at the Canadian Grand Prix. An excellent result for Dr. Dre. His first podium this season.
So we've read out the top 10 already. So we're going to go from Jay Schmidt in P11 for Racing Point. Unfortunately, just missed out on points. Curving Texas P12, unfortunately, wasn't able to make that medium to soft strategy work for him. 13th ahead of Toddster and Dan the Racer down in P15. So unfortunately for Plebs, Toddster, 40 and Pure Gold, they all had a very unfortunate race. And then the 2 DNFs of F1 Hawk and NBC Alcatraz in the Grand Prix. Actually, did F1 Hawk retire? Yes, he did. So F1 Hawk and NBC Alcatraz both retired from the session, but we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. Don't go away just yet. We're going to get the drivers into the commentary box here for a little post-race interview. Be back very shortly. So here we have our top 3, actually top 4 here for some post-race interviews. Unfortunately, Revolution is unable to join, so we're going to try also get Zach Crine. He's trying to send me a link to his final lap battle as well, so hopefully we'll be able to try and play that and stream for you in a sec. But congratulations to you, Zach, for taking the win. Obviously, we didn't get any of that on stream, so hopefully BK can ask a couple of questions after I ask Dre and... well, pretty much Dre, because Dre, I need to point out here, has not finished in the top 9 this whole season, and he comes out and pulls a P3 in the end, just in the end of the Grand Prix due to penalties. How happy are you to get that result?
Oh man, very, very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, Crossy does have a bullshit 10-second penalty, so
yeah.
I think that result was short-lived, but yeah, happy for any points to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, no, it was a great result from you and the Toro Rosso team, but obviously Crossy got absolutely pile driven by Tao, so Tao's probably going to get pinged in the end there for some reckless driving, so it's nothing new to him. Obviously, we'll move on to you, Aaron. Unfortunately, I saw you having a little bit of a complaint there, or making more excuses as usual, saying that you got held up by some back markers or something during the race. We unfortunately didn't get that on the stream, so
Oof.
no comment.
Well, nah. I think just the safety car just changed the complete outcome of the race.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a massive crash. I think, was it you and Toddy that got caught up in a little incident?
Yeah.
So if you have a little light
I think
us on
I'll
that.
cop a pen for that. It's
Yeah,
just
okay.
pure misjudgment. Just the safety car ended, the virtual safety car ended, and I just completely kind of forgot that there was a corner right in front of us, and then I've kind of just pile driving pretty much. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's unfortunate for you, but hopefully, Zach, have you sent that link to me now on Discord? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you should have it there, mate.
So give me
You
one.
might have to mute the audio, but
Yeah.
it should be fine.
Give me 1 second. We'll try and play this on stream for you guys. I'll just try and bring it up now. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Actually, no, I can't play it on this browser because OBS doesn't like this browser.
Yeah, the gap between 10th and 11th.
Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to get it up on stream because unfortunately we didn't get that on stream. You're basically fighting a ghost car. Well, not even a ghost car. You weren't fighting anything.
How about expert? How about while we get that going, I'll interview Zach.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, gap.
All right, Zach. P1 today, an excellent win. Congratulations. You're carrying Mercedes. You're carrying Mercedes like always. So thank you for that. Give us a run through of your race today.
So yeah, qualifying was not too bad. I switched games quite late, so didn't have time to practice. So used quality as my practice, and then it rained in the final run, and yeah, that cost me going quicker, but still managed to get pole there. And then started the race, got a nice launch, and yeah, it was P1 for a bit, and starting to pull away was Revolution and myself, and then let him go by at like the wrong time, and then the safety car came out, and yeah, and then all hell broke loose after that. I think Curving and maybe Revolution couldn't see one another because they were like riding each other and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I saw it on my POV as well. It was just a little bit.
The lobby's a little bit glitched as well, but we finally got some view here of the stream, so I'll just try and commentate a little bit over it. Or we'll just view it actually, so hopefully you guys can see this. Let me know if you guys can. Yep, I think you can. So here we go. We'll try and play this now on screen. So we'll play it from the last lap. So they head into the final chicane now, on board with Zach Crun in the Mercedes. He's got really hot brakes here, so he's pushing pretty hard behind the McLaren. He gets a little bit of oversteer. Then the exit of the final corner does Revolution. Zach's going to try and set up a run here. Obviously, we know that Zach won the race, but heads into La Source now. Really, nearly rear ends him. There does Zach Crun. Nearly pumps out another person as he now heads onto the down the straight, heading into Eau Rouge and ready on his in the slipstream and toe. I will mute the audio because I know you told me to do that before. And he's going to try and get the move done by the looks of it, heading into Lake Coombe. He's got DRS now. He's going to go to the outside line. He's put it back to chase cam just so he can see what's happening there with the others around him. And he's going to get the move done pretty easily there. Did Zach Crun. So that was a pretty easy move. I would have thought he would have defended it a little bit more, to be honest. But
I mean, Lockie.
we're going to keep on board. We're going to skip here just to Blanchimont. As you can see, they're right with each other here. As you can see, the McLaren driver goes down the inside very late
Lockie,
there.
stop playing.
Not playing stream mode.
Mate.
It's not playing. You sure?
No, it says it's just pause.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's just a still image of where you're about to press play. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look special now. I don't know how to play it. It won't let me play.
Wouldn't be a race spec live stream if there weren't some technical difficulties along the way.
It's not. Yeah, pretty
Come
much.
on, Bailey.
Well,
Do you wanna
we'll
get
try and
some
fix that. But do you have any
Bailey
more?
Coleman
Oh,
on
okay.
board?
So now I don't know. Tell me if this. I'll have a look if this plays. Yeah, it's not playing. So much. Yeah,
No.
I apologize for that. We'll put a link. We'll put a link in the Discord for you guys watching. But sorry for that. That I was just commentating over the same picture. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the stream. Do you have any more questions, BK, for these three?
Yeah, I do. I'll pose out a few more questions. Dre, congratulations on P3 today. A fantastic result. there weren't really too many eyes on your performance today with so many battles going around, but was today really just trying to pick your spots and trying just to avoid all the carnage?
Well, in the beginning of the race, it was a lot of battling, and I kept losing out positions just because of, I don't know, just battling basically. And then when the safety car came out, the race completely changed, and there was an incident after the safety car as well. I think Plez was involved that caused the VSC. And the other incident after the VSC restart with Aaron, I'm not sure who, that really helped me gain a lot of spots, and yeah, that's it.
A fantastic drive from, I believe it was Experts as well, but a fantastic drive from my driver of the day at least. A driver who benefited greatly from the safety car periods we had today. Any final words, Expert?
I'm trying to, so keep asking questions, please, because I'm trying to download this video so I can...
Keep asking questions. All right, Aaron, are you there?
Yep.
All right, so we'll switch from one driver whose safety car saved their race to one driver whose safety car probably ruined their race. Aaron, do you think that today, if we didn't see that safety car come out, do you think that your result today would have been any different?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't know.
Do you think that we could have seen you up towards the likes of Zach and X Revolution battling for the Grand Prix win today?
I think I would have stuck it out with them, but I don't think I would have been battling with them. I think before the safety car, I think I had the pace to stick with them, and I don't think Spilly did behind me. So I was pretty confident if I just stuck with those two, that we'd all eventually pull away from Spilly and Bailey and Matt. And yeah, I think third was definitely in the cards tonight, but sadly that didn't happen.
Yes, and also just looking through as well the Drivers' Championship standings, a few of your title rivals today not having the greatest of races either. 40 and Toddster just having their own separate incidents, but X Revolution had an incredibly strong race, and if my maths are correct, you currently lead him by, I think it's 6 points 12 points in the Drivers' Championship. If I'm not mistaken, do you think that you can hold this second place in the championship, or do you think that someone like X Revolution or 40 or Toddy are going to bring a fight in this last third?
I think they're all going to bring a fight. They're all quality drivers. I think I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to race every single race, but you look at the likes of Revolution, who's up into third, and he has missed a few races.
He's missed a few, yeah.
Yeah, so I need a hope for him to miss a few for me to beat him. And also Bailey, I need a bit of luck to beat him. Otherwise, my aim is to definitely try and beat Toddy and Spilly. I'll be pretty upset if I don't beat both of them by the end of the season.
Sorry, I'm going to take over here. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to download it. I don't know what I downloaded, so hopefully it's not a virus or something. But I put it up in the Discord server, so anyone that is in the Discord server, I just added everyone as well. It's in the race live stream section. I just put in that last lap battle there between Zach Crime and Next Revolution, which we unfortunately weren't able to get on stream due to F1 being F1. But thank you guys so much for joining the party as well. Congratulations on your podiums and your places as well. And thank you, BK, as well, for joining me in the commentary box for this week's Belgian Grand Prix. Hopefully you're back racing next week for Mercedes, so Alcatraz doesn't keep binning or wasting cars.
You better be back.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.
Ka-chow.